16 million tourists fly into Thailand each year, and despite the influx of visitors, this country's cultural integrity remains relatively intact. Did you know that in Thailand, it is illegal to leave the house without wearing underwear? So make sure you bring enough when visiting the country. Everyone loves Bangkok, right? This bustling city is nothing short of the ideal weekend vacation, with its constantly changing shopping scene and the plethora of inventive cuisine. Thailand's main city of Bangkok is a fantastic place to visit because it has one of the highest levels of safety of any major city in the world. The nation has some of the most picture-perfect beaches in the world, elaborate temples, a rich culture, and food that is to die for, all at relatively reasonable prices. However, it also has a negative side. So how does the disparity crop up? There are some things that everyone should be aware of before traveling overseas. To give you a thorough view of this city's other realm, let's take a look into the world of darkness. Here we go. The number of visitors coming from all over the world has never ceased increasing. This year, the total is probably going to exceed 30 million. However, there is always a concerning drawback to tourism, as there is with all positive things, both here and everywhere. Thai culture is resilient enough to withstand the worst of foreign influences, but we tend to win over tourists who come with plans unrelated to beaches or Buddhism. Apart from the money made from hotel reservations, guided tours, elephant rides, and entrance to attractions, there is also a lot of money to be made from corrupt activity that regularly results in the mistreatment of women and animals, as well as dangers to people's health and lives. Overcharging, explicit sex acts in bars, gang-controlled prostitution, risky modes of transportation, large-scale robberies, and increasingly violent attacks on visitors are some of the dark sides of Thai tourism. For instance, if you mention that you've traveled to Thailand, you can get the following response. The person will smile a knowing smile and inquire about your satisfaction with the massage. Unquestionably, some people have traveled to Thailand solely for sex, and this is how they view the nation. Others have learned from racy tabloids, publications that focus on shocking revelations, and Western television shows that show the nastier side of life. But do these perceptions give a true representation of Thai culture? Hardly. They merely reflect a feature of existence that exists in every nation on earth. If tourists discuss Thailand with knowledge of Thai culture, history, government, educational system, and economics, a more realistic perspective would result. However, due to the lack of this awareness, distortions between fact and fiction continue to deepen. Prostitution is a factor in Thailand's dark side for visitors from other countries. However, there are other sinister forces at work in Thailand besides prostitution, which is merely one aspect of the mafia's activities. In addition to drug trafficking, fraud against the public, embezzlement, smuggling of illegal goods, contract killings, money laundering, human trafficking, extortion, and robberies, the mafia also engages in these heinous crimes. Additionally, it collects protection fees from bars, casinos, prostitution dens, and motorcycle taxi drivers, and it is also responsible for illicit transportation, raiding of construction bids, and hiring practices. Each year, the sex industry alone brings in about 100 billion baht. Moving on to the instances of money extortion, it is now believed that Thailand's reputation as a tourist-friendly location is a well-crafted, deceitful gambit of lust that targets the money that a visitor carries into their country. They don't care much about cross-cultural interactions and are content with their own way of life. They view Western tourists as wealthy and defenseless targets for their well-planned methods of attack. Over 2 million fewer international visitors entered the country during the first 9 months of 2014, which resulted in a decline in the tourism industry. The dismal light continues after this. Another aspect of the trap is the taxi that is parked in front of your hotel. You just finished unpacking at the hotel and are ready to start exploring the city. Okay, we already know you avoid those overpriced cookie-cutter group tour buses since you're clever and reasonably autonomous. By some miracle, a taxi driver shows up and waits just in front of your hotel. Open the door nonetheless, but make sure they'll use the meter before you enter. In Bangkok, it's customary for drivers to try and haggle a rate rather than using the meter, but this is especially true in front of hotels and popular tourist attractions. You will always lose this game unless you speak Thai and are already familiar with reasonable pricing. Making sure they start the meter is all it takes to win. If they refuse, simply go. In Bangkok, there are always empty cabs, with the possible exception of an afternoon monsoon. This wonderful guide provides further information on taxis. Once more, these individuals loiter outside of hotels and popular tourist destinations. Frequently, with well-spoken escorts attempting to convert you to their driving. Once negotiations are underway, these cunning negotiators will take advantage of your generosity and joyful Christmas spirit by asking if you wouldn't mind dropping by a store or attraction so they can receive a kickback. The shops may provide everything from food and entertainment to apparel and jewelry, but it's likely that they're selling low-quality knockoffs or just plain junk. Tuk-tuk drivers who advertise special prices or sightseeing packages should be avoided because they lack both a license and insurance for tour guides. Here is a more comprehensive overview of these Bangkok landmarks because they are still a fantastic, enjoyable method to go for quick trips throughout the city. Taking a step back to let you all know that this scam typically involves a complex network of individuals who meet you at crucial points along the road to a last-minute trip to the jewelry store. It frequently begins with an extremely approachable, well-spoken native asking many questions about your vacation, and it might even involve a complimentary tuk-tuk or taxi ride to nearby sites. This generally results in you purchasing subpar jewelry at a reduced price while being promised top-notch jewelry. They might even advise you to sell it for a healthy profit when you get home. If that were the case, I would already be rich from purchasing there. But this well-known fraud, which is occasionally a part of the tuk-tuk or attraction clothes scam, may result in you purchasing a suit that is considerably less valuable than you paid for it. Don't get me wrong, Thailand is a terrific destination to obtain custom apparel for a reasonable price, but only shop there if someone you know and trust recommends it. Sorry, but even if they're giving you all their finest buying advice, that extremely friendly local you just met on the street definitely isn't quite trustworthy enough for this exercise. Well, usually birds are to be freed and taken care of, but it's strange to see that people, for the sake of birds, even show their greediness. Again, this happens everywhere because con artists hang around in popular tourist areas and con you into buying bird feed. Around Bangkok's Grand Palace, the typical practice is to force you into helping feed the birds, in exchange for which they would later demand more money than it would cost to serve your family delicious street cuisine. This story is interesting to read and includes images of the scam in progress. Not only birds, but animals are not saved. Even though elephant rides are a well-liked tourist attraction in the north, they are, at best, unethical. This starts with bringing in baby elephants illegally and goes on to cruel training regimens where the animals are mistreated in every way. Between rides, the animals are frequently chained up and otherwise restricted, and during those times, mahouts will often treat them crudely. Not to mention the family syndicates that run the trafficking of elephants and intimidate anybody trying to better the conditions for animals kept in captivity. So keep your wits about you, your belongings close by, and your eyes peeled, just as on any other holiday wherever in the world. It's probably advisable to pass on an offer if it seems very convenient or too good to be true. Hope you all enjoy this roller coaster ride. By the way, how did you experience knowing this city? What country or city would you like to see in the next video? Comment to tell us while subscribing to our channel and roll the key to hit the bell icon to get notified from us for the upcoming videos. See you all next time. Adios.